Yeah, I don't really have any news. We could touch upon those Disney streaming shows, but there's not much to talk about. But we can talk about them quickly. We start with Smash though first.
Yeah, sure.
Throw down that Smasheroo.
Smasherino.
Ready, folks?
Always.
I have a theory as to how spirits work in games.
Oh! Can't wait to hear it. That's what I look for.
I
Nice.
can. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 226th episode of GeekVerse podcast. Go check out 225. That's our Bohemian Rhapsody review. I am the Smashin' Travis now.
And I'm Carcaster.
I'm the potted Tyler Briggs.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a
There.
quick little newscast. Primarily going to talk, we're going to do video games first. We're going to talk, I think it's going to be mostly just a Smash cast.
Yeah.
We might talk a little Marvel at the end of it, but really it's just that because we won't be doing newscast for a little while. And if you're watching this the day of or the night before, check 24-hour stream, go to Twitter and Facebook. It'll be the pinned post. Please go there, watch, donate, like, and share the link. We got lots of fun stuff going on, so please come. It's gonna be a good time. We got some good stuff planned. Let's talk about this, Dylan. You can lead the way. Smash had their direct.
Smash.
Last direct.
Yeah, the last Smash
Final
Direct game
one.
comes out December 7th. What'd you say?
Final one.
The final one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 40 minutes long, which we'll talk about in specifics. Probably didn't even be that long. There's a few things they could have cut for sure, but I don't know. Either way, I'm super hyped. I own a Switch now, so I'm definitely getting that game the second it releases. I'm gonna play it too much. But let's get into it.
Are you gonna be getting the second releases? What if you're working?
You know
He
what?
will take
I'm gonna
the
hope
ball.
that it's snowing significantly so I don't have to work.
Mm.
And if not, I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna work today because I want to play Smash Bros.
Good
and,
call,
and
good
my
call.
and my coworker will probably be like, you know what, man? I accept. And,
Fine, I accept your resignation.
I accept your resignation. Let's get into it. They started with rounding out the roster. So the last two characters in the game are going to be Ken from the Street Fighter series and Cinnamoroar from the recent Pokemon generation.
Yeah.
Neither of these are too surprising. A lot of people like just talking about what's there's always a new Pokemon in these games. Which ones it's going to be? This one was kind of one of the front runners. Most people thought it was going to be this guy.
Can I ask you why? Because legitimately this was the first time I'd heard of this Pokemon, so that's why.
Yeah,
I was
I don't know I don't really know any of the newer generation stuff.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think the reason is because he uses a lot of like wrestling and fighting based moves.
Yeah.
He's
So
like
he fits in.
so he's like a fighting physical character.
I'm guessing he's like a fighting fire type. That would be my prediction.
Okay.
Makes
That's
sense.
kinda-
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he just fits the aesthetic of Smash.
Yeah.
I think he fits in. The only reason I knew of him is because of all the people that have been talking about it. I wasn't like hyped when I heard that was probably the front runner character, but then when I saw the demo they showed of him, I thought he looks like a lot of fun. He just looks like a really interesting character. They've changed a few things, like he has like a new type of counter where there's a lot of counters in the game now. I feel like they've added too many. Where it's straight, if you hit down B, someone hits you, you hit them back, and it's kind of boring. It's all the same. It just looks different. But this guy's is different in that it's the same thing down B. He absorbs the hit, but then it just like powers up his next hit. He also does like this wrestling kind of thing where when he gets like a good hit or combo, he like pops off and taunts like midway through.
Nice.
Apparently you can cancel that so it doesn't fuck you over, but it's just like a really interesting mechanic. I think he looks like a lot of fun. Where I didn't care about the character necessarily because of his personality or anything. I think they did a good way of showing him off in this trailer, and I'm like excited to play as him now. You guys have anything to add on him?
Awesome. I do not. I can't even picture him in my head. I'm just picturing like a large super jack.
He's like a big fire cat.
rock thing.
Yeah, pretty
Fire
Cat's
cat.
a
He's
big-
very
yeah.
he's very top heavy. He's very buff.
Oh.
I think he's like a
maybe
tier
I've
3. I'm guessing. I think he's
seen-
fully evolved, so he's pretty big.
Okay. He's like a cat, but he wrestles.
Maybe he's like a tiger. I guess he's kind of like a tiger. I don't know.
I feel like that'd be like a slashy throw fire at people kind of.
He's a little slashy. I feel.
He kind of has like some fire on his moves, but I don't think he has like any projectiles. He's like they showed him
He's
doing
a
like a
baller.
bunch of like wrestling moves.
Yeah.
I think when I was wrestling, I was thinking just like grab people.
Yeah. His side special is he picks up the guy and throws him into the wrestling ring, and then like they pop back. So that looks pretty.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, he
that
looks
sounds
cool.
way too cheesy for Pokemon, but Maybe
I know, right?
maybe
Yeah,
that's
you
direction
feel-
that Pokemon's in.
They have so
I
many
haven't been
characters
keeping up
now
with
that they
them
kind of
since, like,
have to use like
designer
little
ideas.
gimmicks and things. That
Yeah.
like, let's do a fire wrestling cat. Who? That's it, guys. Let's move on to the next one.
I want it everywhere.
They're trying to bring in the wrestling demographic, and it's not working.
No, it's not working.
No, like
Does he not? Did you like watch the
No, he
demo
looks
trailer?
really. He looks really cool. I just, for me, if
I think you need to kind of have like emotional attachment to the character.
What
to
if
be
him
interested, don't
and
you?
Little Mac have like a bout in
Well,
the
that was the trailer.
in the wrestling ring,
That was the trailer.
and then he throws them against another ring that pops up
Goes
inside
back
the
and forth.
ring.
Yeah.
They call that war games in professional wrestling
Boom.
with two rings
War
beside each
games.
other. Yeah, they put a cage between them
What
so
if
they
one
can't
ring
escape.
inside the other ring?
A ring within a ring.
They've never done it inside, but they've done a ring on top of a ring.
Oh
That's-
shit.
Was there a way to get from the bottom ring to the top ring?
Yeah, you had to climb the cage, and
Oh,
there was
that
like a
sounds
cage.
awesome.
It was
That's
a mess,
awesome.
and it
Was
sounds
Jinder,
good. Yeah.
was Jinder Mahal?
Jinder was,
Zack Ryder.
Jinder, I was really
DLC
hoping
stage.
Jinder was gonna be in this game, you know. But
Oh, that'd be sick.
if you know this podcast, if you know me, you know
You're a big
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I don't give a fuck about. I wish I did hear about it at all, but this podcast I hear about every week.
I feel like
So-
you're overly rude about it. You know,
It's
like,
no, it's just because
like you can't just be like, I mean, it's Pokemon, whatever. They do their thing.
no, it's just
But it's
because
like,
I give so zero
just
fucks about it, and
five
every
things.
podcast I gotta hear. about
Actually,
it. It's
it does get brought up maybe a little.
and
bit
it's
often.
always the most insignificant.
It's
like
usually a very tiny thing, yeah.
yeah, but so that and then Street Fighter 2, I'm not really a fan. That's good that they got some more variety in there.
Yeah.
But he looks pretty similar.
He's an echo of Ryu, so
Yeah,
he's just
so-
like has a couple different moves. He's a
Yeah.
little bit faster. This one as well was like almost 100% confirmed through. There's been like pretty much every leak that this game had.
He's been
Ken was part of it.
Yeah.
There was like a screenshot leaked a couple months ago that had him, Pac-Man, Pichu, and like Ivysaur together, and it looked pretty legitimate,
Legit, yeah.
and it was like him like taunting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty. Plus, it was just like. You know, it's an Echo Fighter. They're pretty like they take a lot less development time to make than other characters.
Yeah.
This one is pretty much a shoe-in, so it wasn't really surprising for me. Those being the final two, I think it's a little anticlimactic,
Mhm.
but I think here's the reason is I think they kind of went they wanted to show all the big ones early because Smash always gets leaked.
Yeah.
Every single Brawl and I mean I don't think Melee did because it was a different time, it was a long time ago. But Brawl and Smash 4 both had their like rosters pretty much leaked before, and it always sucks to have that happen. That's why I think they opened with like Ridley and then K. Rool and then Simon Belmont. Those are your big three. So I think it was wise of them to show that stuff early and have it not be leaked. But the result of that is that in this final direct, there wasn't really a big reveal. I mean, you could say that DLC character that we'll talk about in a bit, but I mean that's not really a huge reveal. It's more of a I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I
but,
think that's something of my biggest problem with this direct is it didn't hurt my excitement, but it didn't get me any more excited. For me, it was just it didn't need to be 4 minutes, which I know we'll talk about, but a lot of stuff I did need to know that ZR was the help button.
Yeah, they spent like too much time on the options and help and like
Yeah.
They showed a brightness slider. You do not need to show that at all.
This felt like, I don't think this is the case, but this felt like Nintendo said to them, this has to be 40 minutes, so fill it. And I don't think that's the case. I think they do, but that's what it felt like. It felt like a lot of filler. And for me, yeah, as someone that doesn't like those franchises, it was not a big, exciting moment. It wasn't because of the Waluigi thing, because that I accepted last time I talked about this. I said, he's not going to be in this game. I think there's a chance he might be DLC character, which we'll talk about because the hype has brought up so now. But I just thought at the development of this game, when it was going on, I didn't think the Waluigi hype was big enough. So I wasn't even preparing for characters to get super excited for, but this is characters that I get like less excited for because they're Pokemon and Street. I'm not big unless it's Mortal Kombat. I don't really care about fighting games in that style, not Smash, but in that sort of 2D side.
Smash is
sort of
a platform.
yeah,
fighter.
it's like a hybrid, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the two characters. I think it's good for those people. They looked cool.
I mean, from what I saw online, a lot of people are pretty disappointed, and the reason for that is if you didn't hear, there was a pretty big leak a couple weeks ago that leaked a bunch of characters. That
the one that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, and like, because that, it was very, very well done. Like, that was one of the best Smash leaks I've ever seen that is a fake.
And it was enough people that seemed legitimate could be in it,
yeah.
right?
It had, like, Banjo and Kazooie, had Geno, it had the Chorus Kids, it had Mock Rider, Isaac from Golden Sun, and I think there was... It had Ken.
Kevin Feige.
Ken, of course, was part of this.
Feige. He was his hat.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
Feige.
cool? He just flips a hat. Like,
that's his only move.
He just throws money, too.
He just cuts the rights and deletes the character files.
yeah, I was going to say something like a James Gunn joke, or something, but yeah.
So I think there was that leak was so well done that a lot of people
got too hyped.
It honestly, I feel like it was like a 50-50.
I
There was
know,
like half the people really thought it was real, half the people didn't. So when they opened this direct with 2 characters that were kind of expected, maybe not the most hype picks, and none of them were, people have been wanting Gino, Isaac, Banjo-Kazooie since Melee. Like those are big characters that people have wanted, and so the fact that those are all part of this leak and then aren't actually characters, a lot of people were really disappointed. I was in the camp that the leak was fake.
Well, I was too, because I didn't believe that they were still going to announce that many characters this
that's
late
a lot
on.
of
5,
unique
6 characters.
That's a lot
No.
of unique characters.
Yeah, they would have been sprinkling in 3 each direct, or they would have said these are DLC, but I didn't believe that. And Banjo, I still never believe, because I think there's a rights issue. I don't think Nintendo had, because he's on Xbox now, so I don't think it's as easy as people think. It's one of those, a snake that you'd have to
I think
go
it's
through.
possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think it's
I know people
bring
have asked, I don't know who is in charge of the rights of Banjo, in interviews and stuff, if they'd want him in Smash, and he's like, yeah, definitely, I would definitely be down for that.
Yeah.
And then there was, I don't know, I think people were kind of expecting it. There was there's some Microsoft, I don't know, some stream or event that they're doing this week or next week, so people thought, oh, it was perfect timing, they're gonna, show, hey, check out Banjo, he's in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is a lot of people disappointed with these final 2 characters.
Is Banjo, this is a side point, is he big enough right now to include for other than hardcores? I feel like you have a different audience. Pokemon. So. I don't think he is anymore. I think as time's passed, I want him. I love Banjo games.
I think Banjo is a gaming icon, and if you look at how relevant...
I don't know if I would go that far.
I would say so.
I say gaming icons are people our parents know. I don't think Banjo are people our parents know, right? I think a Mario, a Link, things like that, Donkey Kong. I don't think Banjo's up there. Sonic, Batman.
There's tiers to it for sure, but I feel like if you play video games, you know Banjo-Kazooie as you maybe played it.
That's a good after 9 discussion. Who are gaming icons? We should tier them,
I'd be down for that. I don't know, because I would consider Samus a gaming icon. I don't know if my parents know who Samus is.
I think they might.
They might not know Samus, but they might know the name Metroid.
Yeah. And they might know that's the girl, right? That's the girl with the armor.
That's the robot. With Banjo.
They
probably think it's a him.
With Banjo,
I wouldn't even know if they call it, but they know it's the robot who turns into a little ball and is in space.
But with Banjo, I think they might, the instrument, I don't know if it is.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's been...
We don't just say Banjo, you say Banjo.
It's kind of a retired series, but if you look at it in terms of relevance, Banjo is just as relevant as K. Rool, and he got in as well, right? So it doesn't. And I don't know. That's the thing with Smash. There's always some oddball picks in there.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Can
we just talk about it now?
Yeah, we'll talk about it now. So they announced as well in this that they're going to do some DLC, and they have one character who's already been in the works, is kind of near completion, and that character is Piranha Plant from Mario Bros.
Hell yeah.
Travis, you said.
So, like Dylan said, I'm not as well into the Smash community. So, Dylan has said this before, and I kind of forgot about it until he brought up in the chat when I was talking to him after the direct, that they always have a weird random pick.
They always have a WTF kind of character.
Yeah, so this makes sense. For me, it's just, even if it's not Waluigi, out of all the other Mario characters you could have done, I could have seen a Toad, a Birdo, Dry Bones, anything before the plant. I think the plant, it isn't what the fuck, but it almost is for me, it's fuck this. I'm still gonna play this game. Maybe I'll buy it if I get a Switch at some point. But I was this is fucking stupid. I don't want the plant in there. Make him a trophy. Make him something that attacks. Make him something to his spirits. Yeah. But I think it's kind of a wasted thing. I think any character you put in Smash could be fun because they're great developers. Yeah. And they can make... They made Mr. Game & Watch a fun sort of gimmicky character, right? So it's not that. I don't think he's not gonna be fun to play. It's just I feel like... it feels like a troll. It almost does feel like a troll. We're gonna put on the fucking plant. And I was oh, are you kidding me? So I was pretty disappointed by that one. Not even because I want Waluigi, just the fact really we're spending hours on this guy. Okay.
Yeah, I if you told me this before, if it was a leak and they said Piranha Plant and I hadn't seen any footage, I'd be that is a weird character. I don't know if I want that. But when I saw the gameplay for it, I was instantly sold. That character looks like so much fun. I love that character reveal, and as Travis just said, there's always these WTF characters. In 64, it was Jigglypuff, believe it or not. Back in the day, that was a very strange character to have in there. Not really seen as a fighter, just kind of put in there. Probably because it was similar to Kirby and it was easy to program at the time.
So another side note, if James Bond would have been there, do you think he would have been the what the fuck character instead of Jigglypuff if that would have happened?
James Bond.
He almost made it in.
He was a big
Goldeneye.
He was a big
for Melee.
In
right?
Melee, he was a big character that could have been in Melee.
What was the WTF for Melee
That's
then?
Game & Watch.
So
and
do
then
you
in
think,
Brawl it was Rob, and then in Smash 4 you could say it was Duck Hunt or Wii Fit Trainer. Or
do you think James Bond would have taken that away from Game & Watch if he was in Melee?
Well, I mean, it's not like
Is
it's
he so
necessarily just like
aesthetically
one
different?
slot, right? Like Smash 4 kind of has like two. I think they're gonna.
But if you had to give your word for the
I
WTF
think-
character, if it's
I
Golden
think by
Geeks,
WTF character, I just mean like someone that no one would have predicted, right?
Okay.
Like it's just something that like it's just Sakurai, like, hey,
Okay.
check out this fucking character.
I see what
You
you
guys
mean.
would never have guessed this.
Yeah.
Haha, take this, all you motherfuckers want Waluigi. Here's a plant from Mario instead of Waluigi. Here's Daisy instead of Waluigi. Fuck Waluigi. That's you know me kind of
yeah.
projecting a bit, but I feel like Sakurai, a lot of people give him a lot of flack for the characters he chooses to include and not include, and I think a lot of it is bullshit.
I think so too. One of my favorite tweets was him, Waluigi, holding the plant, and someone said, "I'm so glad he finally made it into the game." Nicely done. I don't know who did that, but Briggs, what are your thoughts on the plant?
I love it. I'm sold. Like, I absolutely love. I remember I didn't even wasn't really even following the direct until I saw the video for the Piranha Plant. I was like, wow, this game's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool, and it's one of those things. Like, it's just so crazy and fun to play. And for me, at least, like Smash, like especially if it's not Melee. It's much more fun to have like these crazy, wacky characters that you never get a chance to interact with or play as in any other situation. That's what kind of Smash is for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when I could first play as Bowser back in the day, like that was just mind-boggling.
Like
right?
K. Rool for one is another example.
Definitely.
Really, like there's those absolute wild characters that you're never gonna get a game of outside of Smash.
Yeah.
And so to have like the Piranha Plant, it's just such a troll, like ridiculous
so
character.
Funny.
And I feel like it's
So
gonna
funny.
be like just such a BM pick for people, like to like maybe if like in competitive scene or whatnot, it's just gonna be like such a ridiculous character with like absolute absurd moves.
And he looks like so much fun.
Yeah, he does.
The animations are on point.
Yeah.
It's just like super simple too. Like everything is just like it's just a plant moving out of the pot a little bit. There's no like crazy
He's, like, wiggle as he
choreography to it,
scuffles
but
across the
it's still he just looks like a lot of fun to play. So I'm super stoked on that.
Yeah.
The one thing I am disappointed in is because it's day one DLC, I believe, or pre-order bonus.
Yeah. Well, technically it's a DLC character. You can get it for free because it's already like almost done. It's just not ready for the time.
Okay, so it's
game
going to
shipping.
be downloaded, so you get the character for free once it's done after the game's released.
Yeah, you have to go through the process of like putting the code in or something.
Yeah.
Nintendo.com.
Nintendo.com.
Yeah.
So like the thing is, if you buy Smash in like a year from now, I think you'll have to buy the character. I don't know if they'll include
That's
it
what I
for
kind
free.
of. Yeah, that's what I.
That's the way I took it because it's technically like a DLC character. But I mean, they're giving it away for free if you're like.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not as bad then. That if like for me, like the biggest thing is like game companies, they'll have a fully completed game, and then they'll have content that's completed with the release, but then they'll charge you extra for it.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that I thought.
That's a big issue for me too. So I was really happy to see that
I'm glad to hear that
character.
it is a free character if you're buying the game on release there, and then as a DLC character for people buying it. Get the game on release, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Talk about DLC now though.
yeah,
Sure, we're talking about characters and all that.
Yeah, so they've confirmed that they're going to do 5 sets of DLC. Who knows, maybe they'll do more after, but each DLC is going to be 1 new character, 1 stage, and then some music tracks along with them. Each one is like $5.99, or you can get all 5 of them together for $25, something like that.
Like $4.99.
Yeah, so
I think they put it as like a deal. Dude.
I think it is because it's like $5.99 for each one, and then it's like $24.99.
So you'll save like
for all
$5. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get like 1 for free.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I don't think they'll make more. I think them rolling on a plan like that, unless they did another 5, I think they're gonna do the 5 and stick with that. 'Cause there's already so many characters.
It's hard for me to envision what the plan is for Smash Bros. Down the line, because it really, I mean, obviously this is Smash Ultimate. It's a fun name, but also maybe it means like they're gonna want to just keep supporting this one for a long time.
I think it depends on how profitable this iteration of Smash is.
It'll be very
in the long run.
Yeah.
And whether they want to just leave it as it is and take those profits, or they want to keep pouring support into it in the
Uh,
hopes that it turns into something that will keep growing and growing.
Well, I think that's a bigger discussion because I think that all depends on what they do with Switch, right?
Yeah.
Is Switch
Yeah,
just the next?
exactly.
Is that what they do for the next 10 years, or is there going to be a Switch U? You know, like that's the thing. Because if they make another console, they sure as hell aren't going to be like, yeah, we're still supporting, you know, Smash Ultimate, right? So,
I thought that they would do a Smash 4, you know, full bundle for the Switch.
collector's edition.
Yeah, with all the additional stages and characters. But instead they had this one prepared. So we'll see if the next Smash on the next console is like the same sort of thing. That might be too much because this game is already kind of based off Smash 4's engine. They've changed a lot of it, overall done a lot of graphical updates and stuff like that. But it is
almost like a spiritual success.
It's the first Smash game that's like using the same system as the last one. They're they're adding new mechanics.
It's the Marvel formula.
If
It's
you were
like
to look
the
at,
base and then stuff around it has changed, but the core is still the same.
So it'll be interesting to see like what the future of Smash is. But I think that's a pretty I think that's a pretty fair price. I mean, obviously, I would buy it anyway for sure. But it's cool. You know, we're gonna get at least 5 more new characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious to see what those are. I wonder if they'll do another. I feel like they won't be doing a ballot like they did for Smash 4, not because of fear of what people might vote for, but more so it seems like maybe they've already have like plans for what these 5 characters might be.
Well, that was my thing with the deal. I was very caught off guard with how they were wording it. My whole thing was, I bought the Spider-Man DLC. I'll buy DLC if I have to. I understand it's a problem. With my thing was, before they introduced like the plan and the rollout, they're like, oh, we've finished working on the roster and we may make some more characters. We'll have to see down the line. And then they right away are like, but then we were planning to make 5, and there's a rollout. And then they even go like, we usually don't ask you to buy DLC without knowing what it is, but we promise you it's going to be of great value. So for me, it felt really like snake oil salesman.
Technically, the way they said it was like, if you're confident in what the value will be, then you can pay for it. So
it was still a weird way of wording it for me with that and back to back of like they're like the main game's done, so anybody we add will have to make from scratch. They said it like, oh, there could be DLC down the line. We're gonna talk about that in the future. But then right away they switched to a title card of like, and we're planning 5 and this thing. So for me, it was a little weird.
The way I saw it is, obviously Nintendo. It's funny to say, but they're still new to the whole DLC
100%,
thing.
yeah.
And Smash 4 was them experimenting with that. And obviously Smash 4 was kind of a mess if you think about it for DLC. It was just like they announced them as they were making characters.
Yeah.
I think this is a much better model because, for me personally, I didn't end up buying Bayonetta or Cloud or Corrin for that matter on Smash 4. Not because I didn't want to get those characters, but just I wasn't playing it as much at that point, so I just didn't buy them. Whereas this way, they'll get my $25. I'm gonna get all this DLC. So I don't know. I think it's a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So do you think probably same as past that they'll roll these out one by one, kind of like every 3 months?
That's the vibe I got.
3 months. Yeah.
I think so. That's the way it seemed. It's always hard to tell because obviously there's like the layer of translation over this. Because it's, Sakurai Direct saying these things, and then they kind of have some guy who's Sakurai's American voice.
And that could honestly be it with my problems. It was just the wording of it felt very strange the way it was worded, and I think you're right if they just don't know what they're doing. But for me, at points, it felt like a really why would you pitch it this way?
Maybe it seems like biased because Smash is my favorite series of all time, but I've always felt like Sakurai is just like a really good guy, and he's not trying to rip anyone off. Like, if you look at how much fucking content is in this game, it's like $1 per character if you look at it strictly as like how many characters are in this game.
And that's just
characters. That's pretty insane amount of value right there already. The fact that Piranha Plant is like technically a DLC character, but it's like, okay, well, we got a head start, it's almost done, so we're going to give it to you for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily charged for that,
Yep.
to throw Spider-Man under the bus. Like,
100%.
100% got the vibes that at least this first DLC was fully finished content, but they held it back from the game to make it paid content later, like you were saying a bit earlier, Briggs. Now, it's kind of different in Smash as well, because if you have like DLC content like this, it doesn't take away from the main game to not have it in there. It's pure add-ons. So I don't know. I think it it seems pretty honest. I have a lot of faith in Sakurai. I think he's not trying to just weasel money out of people. And I mean, it's pretty crazy how many characters are in this game already. Like, that was obviously their focus this time around, was bring everyone back as well as some new characters. And holy shit, that's a lot of characters. That's like 80 characters, I think, on release.
So do you think we get Waluigi here? Because I honestly do, just because
so,
I think if they are actually starting from scratch, the hype is big enough. I feel like they do. Because then I feel like if they're starting from scratch and they don't do Waluigi, it's a strange thing. Because they got the rights, they have the fan base.
There's a few things to look at. If you look at like some of the other characters that are highly requested, a few of those are assist trophies. Waluigi is confirmed. They've shown him as an assist trophy.
I feel like Waluigi would fit as a character and an assist trophy.
Well, that racket.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like Little Mac was originally assist trophy in Brawl. They upgraded him to a playable character. There's been a couple of examples of that, characters that started as assist trophies but have been upgraded to full-time fighters. So it's possible. I always look at like the Smash rosters, and like there is some logic to it in terms of like characters they're adding. And every game has at least one, usually I guess more than one new Mario character. They already have Daisy, who's an Echo, but then they have a full new character, Piranha Plant. Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna add Waluigi as another one. I mean, Smash 4 did have 2 Fire Emblem characters as DLC, so it's possible. I just don't know if Sakurai wants Waluigi in Smash,
Why?
I don't know if he does.
Why?
Didn't they add a new Mario as well into this one? Or am I like, there's like 2 versions of Mario to play and it's not like an Echo one?
Luigi? No.
Well, Dr. Mario is like he was in Smash 4. They brought him back as a full-time character.
I didn't think of a different character. But.
Yeah, that's the only new Mario character this time around. I kind of feel like one thing they should do is add some Legend of Zelda character. I've always felt like that series is underrepresented. Melee killed it and added a ton of characters, but since then they've just added a new version of Link and
new version of Zelda, I guess.
I guess they've separated Sheik and Zelda over time, and they've given Ganon a couple more unique things. This time they brought back Young Link, obviously.
Who would you add?
Well, I think logically they'd probably add some character from Breath of the Wild, a game I have not played yet, so I'm not sure. They could add they could do, if they wanted to do another Toon character, they could do like another Toon version of one of those. Impa is an interesting one. It could be like kind of like a Sheik Echo Fighter. I don't know if I think all of these new characters are going to be, the DLC characters will be new characters. I don't think they're going to have any echoes. I think people would be a little maybe let down by that.
That could come off as a little like, oh, I'm paying $25 for a couple echoes. That might be a little like,
that could run people the wrong way for sure.
So we'll see. We'll keep attention on that. Because that to me now, because this is a group chat topic. For me, my purchase of the Switch depends on how Luigi Mansion sells. And for me, if I'm getting the Switch a little bit later down the line, I feel now more inclined to wait for this all to be together than them to release like they did with Smash 4, like the ultimate. No, they on Wii U they did release a version where it was
they do
all
that
together.
Though, right?
I think they will, just for the money. Like they did for Wii U, right?
Not for Smash 4.
Did they not?
No.
Are you sure?
They never had like all packaged together.
Really? I thought there was.
I don't think so. I don't think you can go to the store and buy Smash 4.
Could you do it online though?
Because if you think about it timeline-wise, by the time the last DLC character Bayonetta was added, or Corrin, I can't remember who the last one was. By the time that happened, like the Switch was pretty much coming out already. I think it was already announced. So it would have logically been, okay, well this game's going to be on Switch, but then hey, we actually have a fully new Smash game that's coming out on the Switch. So I think timeline-wise, it's not that they wouldn't have done it. It's just that timing-wise, the Switch was already out. Because Smash 4 came out pretty late in the Wii U's lifespan, relative to the other Smash games, whereas Melee was a release title in Brawl. Yeah. I can't remember when, but I don't think it took too long for it to come out, maybe within a year of the Wii's release.
Yeah, well I remember a lot of when the new Smash game was first revealed too, we had a big discussion about is it like that compendium of all the DLC put together, and I think a big thing of that discussion was that they hadn't done that before, which is why that was brought up.
It would have made sense if they didn't have a new game prepped, which I thought they didn't have enough time to make a fully new game. So, while Travis looks that up, let's get into the other stuff.
I imagine on the eStore you could probably buy a version, and then you can probably buy a game, and then there's just like a package on the store.
All the DLC. I would imagine they
includes all the DLC.
I would hope they have that. That'd be kind of annoying.
But as far as like a version of the game that's the regular game price,
Yeah.
with all
I
the
think
DLC
this is
probably
good to have
exist.
this like pass thing, because I did feel like the getting all the DLC for Smash 4 was a little bit messy, and that's why I didn't end up getting it all, just because it was like the Nintendo store is not fun to navigate,
No.
and I didn't really want to hassle my way through that for the characters that I would just play on the odd time when we're playing with the pod squad.
That's why you're not paying for the plant, but you're paying with your time with that plant, because you're to find that plant, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything as
I
far as
spent
the
time
regular.
finding
I'm not seeing anything from a regular search, but.
Yeah.
I hope they would do that. If not, then I would probably buy characters one by one or try them when you get them. But because I'm sure there will be like, you didn't get Bayonetta just because of time. I wouldn't have bought Bayonetta because I have no interest in that series, right? So there's certain characters. That's why for me, I don't know if I would buy the.
That's why I think they said something like you make sure you have faith in like the value of this, because it might not be characters that you want.
Well, that's what Dylan's telling me. It might not be Waluigi, so I don't know if I got that faith. So I'll wait.
I would think it's. I'm gonna say no, Waluigi. That's my early round pick, is that it's not Waluigi.
Interesting.
I'm gonna blast through some little things here.
ZR is for help.
ZR is for help. The online features are much better than in Smash 4. They have like a preferred settings thing, so you could, one thing was that there wasn't really a setting that fully catered to the competitive crowd. There was like the For Glory mode, but that was only on like FD. It was one stage type and one type of setting. But now you can set like, I want to play a 3-stock game at 6 minutes, which is the Smash 4's competitive settings. You can pick that, no items, whatever, and then it will just put you into a queue with people who have that same thing selected. Obviously, there's not a ton of options, which is good, because the more options you have, the more you're going to spread out lobbies and not be able to find games. You're not going to have an issue finding games at release or the next few months, I would imagine. So we'll see how they change that over time. They have the what they're calling global Smash power, so your overall rank of how many people you're better than, which is cool. I like the Smash tags thing. So when you go online, you pick a tag, and then everyone you've beaten, it keeps you keep that dog tag.
It's like a Dexter thing.
In your collection, yeah.
It's a blood slide.
Exactly, it's a blood slide. So I think that's really awesome. You can even sell those if you want for in-game gold. If you're like, this guy's not even fucking worth it.
Wow, that's cool.
Come on, screen flip. What are you doing? And then they also, one thing I think is cool is elite battles. So if you reach a certain ranking, you can go into like this, higher echelon play where only the top. I don't know what percentile of players it's going to be, but I think that's pretty cool. An inclusive club. I'm going to try my way in there, and because I'm a lot more interested in the online this time around. And in Smash 4, I didn't like how limited it was, and I didn't really have interest in playing the 4 fun mode, which is like random games online. For me, I want to do those things with my friends. I don't want to just play with random people online. It's more about having people in the room, but the competitive stuff makes sense. So I think the elite mode is pretty
really cool.
Some assist trophies. Isaac from Golden Sun. He was one in Smash 4, maybe it was Brawl, but he's in there. The Thwomp looks pretty fun. Springman from ARMS. I feel like that maybe has a chance, or another ARMS character of becoming a Smash character. It just seems like it fits. Dr. Wily is pretty cool, and Guile from Street Fighter, I thought he looked pretty awesome. Plus he comes with his theme, which is like a very nice song, so I'm glad that that's in the game.
That's pretty sweet.
So much.
Let's see here. Yeah, so the other two things are, they finally talked about what that hidden mode was, and they hinted at the last direct. And they talked about the single player options in this game. There's two of them. There's the spirit mode, and then there's kind of like an adventure mode they're calling World of Light. So Briggs, you kind of got the lowdown on spirit mode. What do you think of spirit mode?
I think it was more the way they use spirits through the World of Light adventure mode.
Right.
But it could be different in terms of how it's actually done. But one thing I noticed in the when they're showing like little clips of gameplay in the adventure mode there, what happened was Mario is like you're fighting Mario that's being taken over by the spirit, and then partway through the battle, Mario uses an ability to turn into Metal Mario.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking you equip a spirit, and different spirits will have different activatable powers. And for example, this one spirit, when you have it equipped, during the battle you can turn into metal version of yourself for a limited amount of time, and then that way it adds because the big thing was the spirits allow you to play as that character even though they're not necessarily in the game.
Yeah.
And so it'll basically incorporate some ability that the character has, and it just adds it on to what how you're playing the character you're actually playing as. So for example, there's like some metal-based character, their spirit lets you turn to metal version. Tails was an example. I'm just thinking of this right now. When you activate Tails' spirit, you grow like Tails, and you can like hover around and float around for 10 seconds or something. So that could be an interesting way to incorporate into games. I don't know how it would work in terms of making teams of spirits.
Yeah,
because I can't imagine having more than one of those per battle.
It was a little confusing, but the way I saw it was pretty much like a rehauled and improved version of like the events that they've had since Melee. I felt that the single player was the biggest disappointment for me in Smash 4. Obviously, 100%. It's hard to follow up Brawl's subspace, but also I don't know, just the events weren't as fun as they were in Melee or in Brawl. And that like there was like this Smash board like
that was
Mario Party thing that was no fun. So yeah, this one looks interesting. It's kind of like a revamped version of events where essentially you kind of got to use your imagination, but they're using certain characters that have the likeness of some other Nintendo, or I mean not even just Nintendo, but other gaming character. Tweak some stats, maybe throw some metal on there or whatever, and then you essentially like fight that character. You can get them on your team, you can get stats from them, you can get upgrades from them, and then the thing I was confused about is what the end game of it is. So you like kind of take out these spirits, you add them to your team, and then I guess you fight other teams. Like I'm not sure exactly what it was. They kind of showed some screen like that, but I'm not sure exactly how it works. Either way, it just looks like a fun, more like unique way of doing the events. I found in the other in Smash 4 like for each event they had like you could do it on like different difficulties and stuff. But I found like after I did it once, I never really had reason to go back. But this is like a mode that's built around like doing the same one over again because you get like multiple rewards for it, or maybe you get something different, or you get some reward and that you can use that event character now on your team or something like that. So it's just I don't know. It's like they took the events and built a whole mode around it. So I'm pretty interested in that. I'm excited because it's like. It's just something to get excited for single player wise, where I didn't really have that in Smash 4, and that's why. I mean, gameplay wise, I think it's a lot. Smash 4 was a lot better than Brawl, but it didn't have the single player, and that's disappointing because now you kind of have these two games that it's hard to go back to Brawl and play it just because of the way they had the mechanics. At least for me, coming from the Melee background now, but Smash 4. I like to go back to it and play it, but there's no reason for me to go and play single player. So it's hopefully this is some good longevity in single player, and it seems like it's incentivized, so it's going to be constantly changing and updating. Like there's kind of a wanted page where you can go and pick fights against certain characters. So we'll see how that goes. And then the second single player they talked about was the new adventure mode called World of Light. It started with a fucking amazing cinematic that was big nostalgia vibes for me. If anyone doesn't remember, in Brawl, as you're fighting and unlocking all the characters, like when you open up the game of Brawl and you turn on the press any button to continue screen, is just like it's just a cliff looking out at the ocean with some clouds in the background, and as you unlock the characters, they get added to that, and it's all the characters standing on this cliff. This cinematic kind of picks up from that place. They're all there looking up to the sky, and you see all these like master hands just falling from the sky. There's some weird godly taboo like figure from the ending of the Brawl storyline. So it's not the same thing as Subspace, which a lot of people are going to be disappointed by, and I'm not disappointed because I didn't think they were going to do that again. But I guess that's the start of the story. It's pretty much like very much like a Thanos snap. All the characters are getting bopped. They all get destroyed. Very emotional scene of all the characters trying to run away
for Kirby
from this thing. Yeah, Kirby is the one sole survivor. I love Snake. I was just like, you know what?
Gotta do the box.
In the box.
I'm hiding in the box. Because honestly, if you look around, you see Sonic and he gets caught. Like, you're not running away. You see Falco and his starship. He didn't get away. Like, I think the best option is to, go for the hard read and hide in the box.
It's worked every other time.
But yeah, so Kirby's the sole survivor. So that's the character you start with in the story mode. It makes sense. Obviously Sakurai made some of the Kirby games back in the day before he made Smash. Okay. Kirby, I think, was actually one of the starting characters in Subspace as well. So Kirby is a very important character to Sakurai, and I think Kirby's a great character to start with. I guess as you go along, it seems like it's a big map mashup world of, I'm gonna guess like all the kind of gaming worlds that you get in the Smash game. Maybe not all of them because that's a lot, but a bunch of the different gaming worlds across, Nintendo characters and now these third-party characters you have. It looks like a pretty damn big map, and it's kind of like it's almost like a crudely drawn map. It's not like fully detailed or 3D or anything. So I can see why some people might not be super into it. I think it looks like a lot of fun to explore that world and see how it works. You kind of like Subspace in that you get more characters as you go along and build up your roster. And the same sort of thing where there's like kind of evil, demented versions of the characters, and you kind of have to save them. And it's very much tied to the Spirits mode. So I'm curious how those are going to overlap and if they're actually like the same thing and they're connected somehow. They made it seem like two separate things. They separated them in the direct, like specifically. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the full story there is, but it has me excited for single player in Smash again, which is something that Smash 4 sorely missed. Yeah.
That's awesome. Was it a thing in Smash 4, 2-player local, like you could have 2 people playing multiplayer on one console? Because I'm pretty sure that was a thing that I read up in the article
that in this game.
It is in this game,
which I am actually really excited for to do some
that's really cool.
Online teams.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to play.
I don't think it was a thing in Smash 4. That's what I would have to guess. I didn't spend a lot of time in Smash 4 multiplayer because I didn't like its lack of options.
So whether that's a thing in Smash 4 or not, I'm super excited. I don't own a Switch, so I probably won't get the game myself. But it'll be a lot of fun to come over and just play with you. I'm sure we'll do like a lot of teams, and you'll probably be doing a lot too with Clinton and Saris and all the boys.
All the boys.
So that'll be a lot.
It's gonna be a 24/7 Smash house here. For sure.
Yeah, 24 hours.
We're gonna do some big stream. I imagine that opening
December.
weekend.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I didn't talk about Spirits. I think Dylan touched upon it. Looked confusing. Didn't interest me at all. And the Venture mode, to me, just feels like a discount Subspace, where, like you said, it's all the other worlds, and you're unlocking these characters, but that's where, for me, it just feels a little tacked on of Subspace. Is that where we're seeing all the other worlds, but it's fully fleshed out and animated, where this is just, I don't like the aesthetic. It looks very... It reminds me too similar though of, there was that board game one in Smash 4. I got 5s out. I don't think it'll be as bad, but it's the same thing up. It's laid out, there's little puzzles. It just didn't do it for me. That was because the game, like we talked about, it kind of echoes Smash Wii U or Smash 4. So for me, like, if Subspace or something equivalent to that being in there, that was okay. Now I gotta lay down the money, get a Switch and get that because I love Subspace. I played the hell out of that in Brawl. That was the best part of the game. Like you said, it was a strange game, not even from gameplay, but just even myself who doesn't care about that. Was just the fact of getting a new Smash in that era and it still being like standard definition in a way. So it was a weird, clunky game, but that Subspace is probably my favorite thing ever in any of the, like, other than just the fun combat, like, just the idea of it, and it was fun, and it was like their kind of like little Infinity War story of like, when you're talking about characters you would play for the first time and never play any other game, it's the same thing. There are situations or character interacting that we've never seen before or never happened, and they even, most of them don't talk, but there was still a storyline to it and some thought put in it, where this just feels like we need an adventure mode or we need a single player mode. It can't be as bad as the checkboard one, but let's try something else. And for me, it just, I looked at it and I just felt uninterested. Maybe if I come over, I see you play, this is fun. I don't think, from what I saw from that in Spirits, the single player stuff didn't grab me. So that's, and I'm the single player guy. So for me, I was disappointed in that. So I'm not a fan.
I can't blame you for that. I think obviously Smash is a platform fighter, and so it's really fun in the Subspace Emissary to have these platforming sequences of the game. So you kind of lose that in this. It's more of like a Mario Party kind of going along the map. But it's cool that they're bringing back some of the boss battles from Subspace to have in here, because that's just fun, thing to do.
They should just make a Subspace game, honestly. They should get a separate team, make a solo one. I think it would sell, and you make it longer or whatnot, because if you're not going to do it in these games, because it did feel like it could be its own game, just do it. And I think you would, as long as it's done well, I think it would sell like hotcakes, because you could get that equivalent of maybe people that aren't into fighters, but they love all these characters. It'd be a good 1-2 punch too, so.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this game. I think, every Smash game has its unique features to it. 64 started it all, introduced a bunch of things. Melee is just a wild game because it had such a short development time. It was like 8 or 9 months or something like that. and I feel like it was very experimental in terms of like they had a bunch of characters. They introduced the adventure mode events, tons of like additional features to the game, and obviously it still stands up competitively. Though it wasn't a focus from a developer standpoint, it still like just stands up. Brawl's focus was the subspace, which is just fantastic. Smash 4, I obviously introduced playing Smash on a handheld console, which is pretty cool. It also had 8-player Smash, things like that.
And because it's newer, but it's a beautiful game. Melee is still beautiful, but like Smash 4 aesthetically is the best game they've made, because
it really is.
It looks like a painting. There's so much stuff when you pause it. Where
beautiful.
like all the other games before, they feel very video gamey in a way, where they there's ragged edges and it's
64 is just like classic
Oh,
N64.
yeah.
Melee is
points.
very cartoony, and then Brawl was like. It was trying to be like realistic in some ways with the character designs,
but
like,
it made
it's
it
very
feel behind the times.
It's kind of like pale, like it's a kind of a pale game in general, which is weird. And anyway, I was trying to lead right into like Ultimate is just it's a culmination of it all. Yeah, it might not have like the individual strength that the games have, but it's everything put together. And I mean, bringing back all the characters is for me such a big thing. I'm a Smash player who will play every character that's added to these games. Obviously, I didn't play the last DLC characters I didn't get for Smash 4, but in every Smash game I play every character at least a little bit. So this is a lot of characters for me to deal with, and I'm excited to play all of them. And oh man, I'm so excited for this game. 1 month away.
December 7th.
December 7th.
That's the one.
Any other gaming news? Quickly shout out. I got nothing.
Let's see here.
I was going to shout out Fallout 76 if you're a PC player. Obviously, you're probably aware there's a lot of issues with the clients. It seems like they're...
I haven't gotten into it.
What a surprise.
They're planning to extend some of the hours on the days that they're doing the beta. I don't know exactly what the hours are for different regions, but go look into that if you did get sewered by Bethesda's client being very buggy.
Yep.
Hopefully, me and Dylan will get a chance to play soon, and we can give a little beta...
Love to do a first impressions cast before the
sort of thing.
game officially releases, if I can get in and play it.
Yeah, so hopefully we had that going, but hopefully for where you are, there still have longer hours for when you can play the beta, because who doesn't want to play the game more?
That's going to be an interesting launch.
Yeah. And then I
mean, hopefully this beta will run out all the kinks so it can have a nice launch.
I just sometimes get a lot of like GTA Online vibes, that first month, how it was just very riddled with problems.
It was very rough.
Yeah.
And Bethesda, they have a problem here or there, so I feel November is going to be...
first space into the online world.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of complaining happening in November, and there's going to be some funny Twitter exchanges, so
it's going to be a while.
I'm happy to have BAFs and Red Dead and watch you guys, do your shit.
But yeah, and then also, not really news, but I want to give a big shout out to Frostpunk. I got that game recently, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I feel like I've already put almost 10 hours into it, and I got it like 24 hours ago.
That's fucking crazy.
So it is maybe a little longer than 24 hours, but I put a lot of time into it already, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's a great little city sim builder, and it feels great going in these winter months because it's very chilly game. Weather's like pretty much your only enemy.
Full atmosphere.
And it's a great soundtrack. It's sort of the same sort of main tune on repeat, but it has different twists to it depending on what's going on, what time in the game it is, and what kind of challenges you're facing. And you do listen to it for hours on end, and it's still amazing. It's a great track, and visually it's a great game. Love the aesthetics, and I mean it's just great. So I'm really happy with it, and I've already put in like a whole ton of hours, and they're constantly adding new scenarios to it.
Nice.
So I probably have at least like another 30 or 40 hours I could put into this game. So it's really fun. I definitely recommend checking it out. I know it was on the Steam sale.
Halloween sale.
Yeah, and then also I'm going to segment into Discord, which has recently, it's sort of in beta.
What is Discord for people that don't know?
Discord is a free voice chat video system sort of thing. It's a client you have on your PC, and you can also have a mobile app for it, and use it pretty much to talk to your friends. You create little servers, your personal servers, and you can add people to it. You have little voice channels you can join to, text channels, you can screen share. pretty much everything Skype did, but better, and then more things. And recently, they added a store to it. So now they're basically branching out, and they're going to be putting on a little competition with Steam, any other stores, platforms they have out there. And it's a very small library right now, but one thing that's really cool is they, for one, have Discord firsts. So there are games that have released that are releasing exclusively on Discord before releasing on any other PC platform or console platform. They have a lot of really fun games, and if you are a supporter of Discord and are subscribed to their Nitro service, which gives you a lot of cool perks as far as Discord itself goes, there's the regular subscription, which is I believe $5.99 a month for the Discord Nitro, or you can do $9.99 a month, and you get a huge library of games that basically for free, and they're constantly adding games to this Nitro.
Yeah,
so
it's really cool.
You're paying, if you pay for the whole year at once, you're paying $100 for the year, and then you basically get all these great, like, well recommended indie games. I've downloaded a couple of them, and there aren't any like big names on there, but for a couple, there's Super Meat Boy, there's Inside, Limbo. So a lot of indie games, not like big AAA titles, but I imagine if they get the support they're looking for, and as the store grows, they very easily could turn it into one of those services that's very similar to the Humble Bundle monthly thing. Where you pay $12 a month, and Humble Bundle, they give you free games every month, pretty much. Not free, but you get basically subscribed, you get these games every month, and this could very well be that sort of thing. So it's really cool. Definitely check it out. If you don't use Discord, you're using Skype or use Steam Chat or something, definitely check out Discord.
Yeah, I mean, Discord it's such a great client. Like, it's so user friendly, it's so easy to use, and it's just like, it's got everything you need. Like, you know, I never liked using, you know, TeamSpeak and Ventrilo back in the day, and Skype calls were just a fucking disaster, but we had to use them. But yeah, Discord just makes it so easy between like having multiple text channels to keep things organized, and then just having multiple voice channels so you can have a server, which is really easy to jump in with your friends. It's really easy to make a server. And,
it takes
a lot of people use it for, you know, like a lot of Twitch streamers will just have like their own personal Discord. It's a great place to just post announcements and keep track of things. It's a fantastic service, and I'm super excited to see them branching out into, you know, having exclusive games on there, and just being like more of a full platform, because obviously that's what Steam is. But Steam, like, why doesn't Steam have a great in-game client for you to chat with your friends?
Yeah, they recently added like a voice thing, but I haven't tried it.
The thing is, Steam doesn't have any big competition, so they aren't held accountable for all the shittiness they have. But you've had to use it for years and years. So I really hope this picks up steam, and I'm probably gonna pick up the Nitro service here. I didn't really need it. Felt like I needed it before, when it was just like for, you know, better chat experience and server things, because don't have a whole lot of servers that I'm frequenting. But you know, with these free games on here, I definitely want to support it, because I'd love to see it grow and like see what it could become, and like actually have some competition to Steam, because I think that's sorely needed. I don't like Steam. I don't want to use Steam anymore.
I've been a huge advocate. I don't know how much I've talked about it on cast, but I know in the group chat I've always talked about how I always want there to be more competition in terms on like the PC platforms.
And a lot of because a lot of like, Bethesda has pretty much gone exclusively to their own Bethesda.net thing now.
And then Blizzard's got their
Blizzard's always had theirs.
Thing. So for that big kind of broad distributor, there are websites that like GOG, Humble Bundle, that kind of stuff that distribute games outside of Steam, where there isn't really a full-on client, but it's really no one at all. And so to have this thing that I already use all the time now, incorporating games and kind of bring that competition to Steam, I'm super excited for it. I remember when I saw it, I was like, I instantly signed up for the Game Nitro. One, because there's some games that I want to try, Inside being one of them, that I wouldn't have bought on their own. But also because I think I wanted to support that, and really basically give them my money to see what they do with it, because I've used
they just frequently update it, and like Discord just gets better and better with every month.
I've used their client for free for years now, and I remember I don't know if it was you, but one of us, like, we basically found it, and then we instantly just put everything on Discord, and it has just gotten better and better and better. And it's not just it kind of picked up, got the subscribe service, and kind of tried to coast off of that. It has constantly improved, like dramatically.
It's pushing the limits
ever since I've got it. They always have really easy to follow patch notes. I find they're fun. They're really easy to read through, and they make it very accessible in terms of if
They
you
put
wanna,
like good jokes in there and stuff.
Yeah, and they make it very accessible if you want to learn more about it, and it takes you to the website and whatnot. But it's all just super great, and
Maybe we'll make a GeekVerse Discord server.
we might.
So the fans
That could be a
can
good
play
idea.
some Fallout 76 with us and stuff.
Oh yeah, so
Let us
definitely check out Discord if you don't use it. It's but
You
yeah,
should be.
if you do use it, consider subscribing to Nitro or buying some games off their store because they are absolutely wonderful.
I think that's all gaming such.
That's all I had.
At
From
some
me?
point next week, me and Kirkland are going to talk about Red Dead 2, hopefully. We'll see. We've been very busy.
Yeah.
I'm on chapter 4, so I still have 2 chapters to go. I imagine Kirkland will not be done the campaign when we do this review, but that's why it's going to be just a discussion of the game, not a thing. It's one of my favorite games
It's,
this generation.
it's hard to capture a game with such a massive amount of content, isn't it?
And plus, they're going to be adding so much more with the online too.
Yeah.
Red Dead's
so-
one where you can just get stuck like playing poker for a few hours.
I played poker for 2 hours a few nights ago. Yes, but yeah, we're gonna do that, and yeah, it should be a good time. I love it, but it's not the greatest game of the generation, as some people would say. Arthur Morgan kind of sucks. So we'll get to that in a couple weeks. I don't have any movie TV other than the quick Marvel streaming stuff.
I just wanted to quickly talk about a TV show.
Check out our Bohemian Rhapsody review we just did.
Please check that out. We recorded
Yeah.
that right before this. A TV show that I just saw a few months ago and fell in love with. It's called Nathan For You. It was a Comedy Central show. I was watching it on Plex. It has 4 seasons. It was just announced. I wrote this news down like a couple weeks ago, and it was like a couple weeks before it announced that is the end of the show. I kind of had vibes that it was based on the finale of season 4, but it's essentially I don't know. It's a really funny show that Nathan he's playing himself, but he kind of plays up this character at the same time. Essentially, the premise is he like goes out to help businesses, improve their sales and stuff like that, but he just does it in like the most wild, like gimmicky ways, and it's a show that like as it progressed, like it just got more and more
like a reality TV show.
Yeah, it is very
Okay.
he
It's
finds
not
these
like-
people that are just like you can't believe they're real people. It's like
Mhm.
hilarious. Some of these people are just what they do for a living. It's like it's so funny, and he has like this very like deadpan kind of humor, and he's fucking great at it. I love the show so much, and so the I don't want to spoil it, but season 4, the finale of season 4, like all episodes are like 20-30 minutes long, whatever, Comedy Central show, but for the end of season 4 they did like a full-on finale. It's like an hour and a half, and it's like a full journey. It's a full story from start to finish. It's like really, really good writing, crazy cinematography, like a bunch of the budget went into that for sure, and like just based on how like the outcome of it, I felt like it was probably the end of the show. I'd seen on Plex like that was the last season, but it wasn't confirmed that they weren't doing it. Officially they aren't doing it anymore, but it is like the perfect ending. Like it's a really, really funny, really well written show, and I mean now it's over. It didn't get canceled because of the numbers being poor. It's a show that went out when it was still really good, and I respect it for that. Dexter cough, just kept going and going and going until it ran itself in the ground. A lot of shows have done that over the years. Nathan For You will not. Whatever he does next, I will try to support it. He's out of Vancouver as well, so shout outs to the Canadian peeps. I think he's from Vancouver. I know he's Canadian. I'm pretty sure he's Vancouver.
There you go.
He's actually fucking Texas.
But yeah, if you haven't seen that show, definitely give it a watch. That's all I wanted to say on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, no, the only news I had was just that they rumored Falcon Winter Soldier series for Marvel streaming service. I'm not sure how I feel about that one, just because I felt like Winter Soldier was going to be primarily more of a movie guy. I'm not sure if that sheds any light on Captain America not dying, because those would be the 2 replacements, I would feel.
Right.
So I don't know if they kind of show their hand there. It's the same thing, though. They said that Vision...
Chris Evans also dropped a pretty risque tweet.
Yeah, I feel like he's fucking with us, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then same thing with Vision, though. Maybe these shows are prequels, because Vision is... That was the other thing that came out in these reports, that he's going to have a prominent role in the Scarlet Witch series. So that I'm very excited for, because I think they did enough. I think some people would argue they didn't do enough in the movies to establish a relationship. I think the show will do that. Feige today put out a statement saying that the shows are gonna be able to tell stories that they couldn't in the movies. So he didn't mean necessarily rated R, just more long form narrative, more like comics. He said. So that Scarlet Witch run with Vision included, I'm on board. Falcon and Bucky, I go back and forth.
Fun, sort of more. It kind of gets a little cheesier and more kind of like Bond
Which
Cop,
one?
Bad Cop.
The buddy cop.
Yeah, the buddy cop sort of like.
Yeah.
You know, Winter Soldier's that really dark, like takes things too seriously sort of thing. Falcon's just like, haha.
I think it's a good idea. In Civil War, they have like a good back and forth. That one just caught me off guard. Out of all the ones so far, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. We've heard rumors of Nick Fury one. I'm like, that makes sense. This one for me really threw me for a loop because I just figured, especially Bucky, would be more just because most of these people are. Like, I'd say, like, the B-tier people, right? Yeah. Like, a Loki is dead, so that makes sense.
Compared to Vision and Scarlet Witch, they're definitely that tier below.
I think they're on the same tier.
Really?
I think Vision and Scarlet Witch...
Vision and Scarlet Witch on that, like... Maybe not the same tier as the Grade A Avengers, but, like... They're, like, just below it, and then Bucky and Falcon are more like that sidekick.
I think I'd put
Bucky ahead of them all.
I'd put Bucky alongside... Vision and Scarlet Witch. I'd put Falcon slightly below because I mean, Winter Soldier was very much a movie focused on that one character. He got a lot of time.
Civil War had a huge role.
Yeah, it was about him.
Yeah. Whereas Falcon's always just kind of just like a little bit of comedic relief, a little bit of a sidekick sort of guy.
Yeah.
I mean Scarlet Witch as well, but I feel like I think Infinity War really boosted her performance as well, and Vision. Yeah, I feel like him and her kind of always been in the same tier.
Yeah, I think I would say though, because of their appearance in Avengers, like the actual Avengers team ups, makes them a little bit higher. Whereas with Bucky, he's
Bucky
more.
And Falcon were in there.
They were, but I'd say they're more like Captain America specific characters.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I can see what you mean.
They have that one like more like political kind of thriller kind of movies thing, but outside of that scope they feel a little bit out of place.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. Lots of talks of tiers on this episode,
a lot of tiers. I love a good tier list.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good idea. I'm just ready for this. Anything I've heard from the Mandalore to the Disney movies they want to do there to the Marvel stuff.
Bring it on.
It all sounds great. It all sounds like this is going to be on one streaming service and it's worth my money.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with those Marvel Netflix shows if any of them go over there.
Oh.
People start watching Daredevil.
Please watch Daredevil.
Yeah, we need at least
the numbers are great.
3 right now. So
you don't even have to watch it. Just put it
on and leave it. Yeah, exactly. But I think it's a good idea. It's the same thing. All these shows I do question where they take place. This could easily be a prequel of some adventure they had before or something. I don't know. I hope not. I think the only one that will chance is Loki, just because unless magic happens. But I think he's dead. The rest of them, I hope they're
He is a magical kind of guy. So.
It's true. You never know. Left hand theory. So I don't know. But that's the thing. I want all the rest of these shows to go forward. I hope Vision and Scarlet Witch have their mutant babies. Their mutant robot babies. I want it. I'm here for it.
Mutant babies.
Yeah, it's great. Mutant robot babies. They're actually just she just physically creates them. And then at one point in the comics, she has a mental breakdown. The kids go away because they're part of her.
That's intense.
But they come back as part of the Young Avengers.
Oh, yeah. It's the full story.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
I have to say, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I mean, it doesn't get me nearly as excited as... I mean, Scarlet Witch, conceptually, is one of my preferred characters in the MCU. So that's why I'm really excited to delve into that character more. Falcon and Winter Soldier are great, but I'm sure I'll enjoy the show. But it's just not it didn't. When I saw that news headline, I wasn't jumping out of my seat. That's the one of the 3 you would kick, right? If they say you can't watch one of these, you're gonna pick that one. Quick boot. Yeah.
So I'd pose this one: that versus the potential rumor of the Nick Fury show. Which one do you boot?
I'd boot Nick Fury.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think Nick Fury's great, but
Sam Jackson though.
But I like magic.
No, I mean between Nick Fury and Bucky and Falcon, the 2 lower tier ones. I'd feel that's.
I would want to know who else is in this Nick Fury show because it's not going to be
Maria Hill is going to be there.
Okay, so that doesn't get me excited.
Yeah. Who would they throw in?
What's the other guy's name? I always forget. Semi-baldish guy who's nearly bald.
Coulson. He does his own thing. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
I forgot what it
could be. Well, that's that one maybe could be a prequel, and they just meant DH Sam Jackson because they're doing Captain Marvel, right? So maybe it's just more adventures of him being young.
De-aging, so.
Do it, man. It looks
The
great.
technology's crazy.
Briggs, Nick Fury show or the Captain Falcon, the Falcon or Bucky
Captain
show?
I'd say Nick Fury.
I'll take a Captain Falcon.
Keep it or boot him?
Keep it.
Keep it?
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of kind of lore-wise, just a lot of like cool like old school characters that they touch on a little bit, like old school heroes, but they never really delve into it. And that Nick Fury, having a young Nick Fury kind of like managing Shield and trying to like get these characters kind of together to help him, and with all the I think there's just so much potential with the Cold War sort of era and incorporating heroes, but also like a more realistic political sort of attitude into like the superhero genre. So I think there's a lot of potential for that.
Well, yeah, I think they could take the same vein as Civil or Winter Soldier and be, like you said, more political thriller. For me, it's just with Bucky and Falcon, I think it's going to be good. I think it's just going to be a bunch of kind of fun adventures they maybe go on.
Yeah, it's going to feel like a comic book, I feel like.
Yeah, and I still want Winter Soldier. My question is, too, after these shows, do these people just get relegated to the app, or do they ever come back? That's my thing.
It's hard, really, because if you have some big story point that changes the character and you ignore that in the movie, because, you know, I think that's, I mean, obviously it's different studios working on the Marvel Netflix shows, but I think that's a big reason why you can't put Daredevil in a movie, because it's like, well, you can't just, the required reading for that is far too high when you already have over 20 movies or whatever it is in your current cinematic universe. You can't just assume that everyone's going to be like me and Travis and watching every single one of these Netflix shows.
Yeah. I guess the hope is that because Feige's the one doing these TV shows, they may have some concurrent thing, but that's, I just don't want, I want these shows, but I don't want them at the risk of, okay, Scarlet and Vision are just a TV show and we don't see them movies.
I think they'll definitely be in the movies. It'll just be one of those things where it's like, the story is better if you've seen the TV show, but it still works.
Yeah. And it's not world-altering stuff where Vision and them are going up against Silver Surfer or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be more contained in terms of the adventures they go on in TV shows. So that, sure, if you go into the movie, there might be some like funny like character callbacks to like something happening in the TV show for a quick. They might. Maybe you'll get more out of the character's development.
That's like the full marketing scheme.
Mm-hmm. But you can still enjoy the movie. There's not anything life-changing or universe like altering sort of stuff that happens in the TV shows.
And plus, they have said these are going to be mini-series, so I think they'll be a lot easier than the Netflix shows that are 13 episodes. I think these are going to be like 6 to 8.
Right.
And that's probably like, so 40 minutes are all going to be almost maybe just 6-7 hours in total.
It's just like a long movie.
Yeah, it's a lot easier that way. So yeah, Winter Soldier just took me off guard. I'm surprised because I still thought they were going to do Thunderbolts. That's their Suicide Squad, and the comic scene leads that now, and they set up Ghost and Ant-Man to be like another sort of anti-hero villain. Cool. So that was my theory, but maybe it might be a Travis didn't tell you. Travis told you wrong because I thought they were going that direction. But like I said, I'll have to see. We'll have to see because Loki's hard to tell because he's dead. But the rest of them, I'm excited to see what happens when we get a TV show, and then after that, it's they'll be in the movies.
Yeah, the Loki one's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm very interested because that still gives me a spark of like, is he really dead? You know, I think he is, but it's just I don't know. There's a lot to cover with him.
He seems pretty dead, but so did a lot of people.
But time travel. Yeah,
exactly. Time travel is the ultimate plot device, right?
Yeah, and they cast the girl for 13 Reasons Why. She's going to be in Avengers 4. That's great.
That's Jessica's point in the comic draft.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that. She picked her. Her name's like Catherine something, Kate, whatever, Langford. I don't know. We'll talk about it at some point.
Langford.
I think in the middle of the year we'll do like a updated podcast, just like a 20-30 minute, like, you know, who got the points, and then like, do we see these people now, 6 months later?
Maybe you can change. You can add one new person or something.
No, you just want no, because he just wants Bohemian Rhapsody people.
Just because I've already done. I have like a list on my phone of like a bunch of people already for next year.
But speaking of Avengers 4, apparently she turned the stream work as Hunk, my brother, and Bruce.
My brother.
He says that they're gonna be dropping some Avengers 4 spoiler. I know my brother. He knows no one on Hollywood. He's completely delusional, but he seems to think he does know. So
don't sue us, Disney. Like it's probably all bullshit.
Yeah.
They're hired by DC, I think, so I don't know how they would know Marvel stuff anyway.
But so that's happening on stream. If you want to hear what they have to say about Avengers 4, tune into the stream. Should be interesting.
Or just tune in the stream anyway.
You can just skip that segment.
Yeah. Or mute it.
Mute them. You don't want to hear them anyway.
Mm-hmm. Anything else before we get out of here? So I want to go eat some buns and artichoke dip.
Turnover Travis comes back.
Turnover?
Isn't that a thing? No.
Travis smells?
I don't know.
What's turnover, Travis?
I thought that was a thing.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Is there some porn version of me I don't know about? Turnover Travis?
I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else to mention. I thank you all for listening to me geek out about Smash Bros. Because I need to vent, and this is a perfect platform to do it, is it not?
It's the perfectest.
Perfect test.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Next week, I think Taylor's gonna be doing an Overlord review. I'll probably throw down. Yeah, I'll probably throw down a Soul Grinch review. I'm gonna be seeing that. Like I said, me and Kirkland, either next week or the week after, we're deciding because the stream kind of got in the way of Red Dead. But we'll talk about it at some point because the good thing is it's a long game, so people are still finishing it, and so we're gonna talk about that. And then I don't know when, but the rumor is the Avengers 4 real trailer, with the real title, probably is dropping this month. So
Fuck, that's gonna be fun.
we'll have an impromptu cast, and we're reviewing a tons of movies this month, so it just keeps coming.
There you go.
Just like Turnover Travis. Thank you very much for tuning in. It'll not be boring.
Boom.
Later, nerds.